Notice is hereby given that the Laguna Vista Community Development Corporation will hold a meeting on Monday, the 7th day of August, 2023 at 6 p.m. at Laguna Vista City Hall located at 122 Fernandez, Laguna Vista, Texas, at which time the following items will be discussed. Have our call to order.
Well, you call us order, and then we'll do the pledge and then do the roll.
Okay. Call this meeting to order.
And it's 6:01.
Ready for the pledge of allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Kathy?
Yes.
Terry Galloway?
I'm here.
Mark?
Here.
Yeah. Betty?
Here.
I'm gonna call them Selena. Mr. Chamberlain? And Miss West. Miss West is in Sweden, didn't want to come to this meeting, I don't know why. And Mr. Chamberlain was already scheduled to be out of town, so.
Okay. We have an open forum at this time. Anyone in the audience is allowed 3 minutes to address the board on any matter.
We haven't.
All right, then we'll move on to new business. The minutes, item 1, approval of the minutes for the June 12, 2023 meeting. We'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes. I'm going to approve the minutes. Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Okay, the financial report, item 2, the review of the monthly financial report. So you realize that we're getting to the end almost within a month of our budget. So the financial report should indicate that there's basically everything was expended that we did budget. So that kind of helps us with the direction of formulating our new budget. Whether or not there's money that's still available or money that we need to allow for more toward expenditure for the city.
So your balance for the books as of right now is $290,154.88. So that's the first page of the bank recon. And then you'll see your statement of revenues and expenditures. So you can see that we did really well in the sales tax. We under budgeted. We budgeted 72,000. You guys actually have brought in 96,000. The mixed beverage tax, we were right on schedule. So I'm sure we will make that $41 out in this next month. So you guys will met your budget there. But just for the purposes of your budget, we break them out here, sales tax and mixed beverage. But when your budget sheet here, the one that will be on the next item, we group them together. We just for bookkeeping purposes, they're broken out, but it's all sales tax. So basically we budgeted 75,000 for sales tax altogether. So that's what you'll see on your budget sheet, the next one.
And the CDC interest that quarter?
That's just what we get from our bank statement interest. So it's obviously down, the interest rates are what they are. So we'll need to adjust that going forward.
Right.
All the expenses and I mean, they're kind of self-explanatory, but if you have any questions, you guys did pay out for the vehicle, you'll see there, it's kind of broken out. We bought the truck for 55,000 and then we got the light package and so you guys did buy that. I don't know if you've seen Chief's new, the new.
No, I expected him to come by the house and like,
He should have brought all of y'all thank you
Yeah.
baskets and everything, so I'll let him know that you're disappointed, absolutely. Yeah, but he'll cry, he'll be really sad, yeah, no. Actually, he went to Arkansas, he went to Alaska right after we bought it, so the guys got it all, decked out and ready to go, but and for right now, we're gonna leave it unstriped, so we kind of have an undercover, unmarked car, still, so I think we'll put stripes on the old truck, is what the plan is, and,
so it's like blacker than that.
yeah. And it's a Dodge show, so it doesn't match any of the fleet, which is one of the things we thought would be good, because, we've got, when we want to do surveillance, everybody knows the Explorers, everyone knows so it'll be good for, until they figure it out, we have a unit that will do that, so. That was, paid out, so,
Incognito for a while anyway.
yeah,
And what year was that truck?
it was a 2023, right? We just bought it off the lot, we didn't order it new, normally we order the vehicles, but, given the status of vehicles, it was.
I'll just write down what it looks like.
So yeah. And we had the windows tinted and it's super dark.
Oh,
And he didn't even do exempt plates. He actually got pulled over. I had to laugh at him because they didn't do exempt plates on it. And he hasn't had non-exempt plates for a long time. He's like, the same day Norma got pulled over. Yeah. He got pulled over.
good.
You guys are bad kids. So anyway,
Making the news around here.
I know, we're gonna be rebels without a cause.
Because again, at the bottom, it says, for the other services, I forget if it says, for the CRDD money grant, given it 6,000.
That was, okay, so we didn't put anything, that was the 22-23 budget. That was that's the current one.
Right.
So that was what it was gonna be. Based on the new contract. That's what we agreed upon in the contract. None of it's actually been paid out because they've not been contract, but yeah. I don't know.
So, I'll remember that point out there.
Well, anyway, if you've got your statement of revenues and expenditures for this past budget year, then you put it side by side with the proposed budget, upcoming budget for 23-24. I would entertain any comments or questions with regard to what you're seeing here. And you can address them to our city manager and see if we need to make some changes, some variations, or just some expression of what it is that we're looking at.
So we put some numbers in there already, just based on, just where your guys are at. So your fund balance as of right now is the 307,830. So that's just what it is. We guesstimate your sales tax will go up to at least 100,000. Our math is because the Dollar General is going to go in, so your sales tax is going to go up, but we don't know how to figure that out because when all the cities get their sales tax, it's all a lump sum. It doesn't break it out between, how much it's going to be from stripes. We just get one big check. So we're figuring 300,000 sales tax in our general fund budget. You guys get a third of that, so that's where the 100,000 came from. Which seems to I think we're tracking easily for that because right now you've already brought in 92,000. So I think that's a very conservative number, but I like being conservative and I like being wrong on this side than on the expense side. So, and since I'm only budgeting 300,000 on the town council side, I want these numbers to match. So, do you know what I mean?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
we need those numbers to follow. And then, That's where the 100,000 comes from. The interest, I mean, we can change it to 500 or leave it at 1,000. I mean, that's all just a big variable. And then you come down to office supplies, we bumped it up to 1,500. Just because everything is so expensive, and so we use that.
Let me ask you this, not to interrupt, but I'm gonna ask some questions here. Are you utilizing good Scotch tape?
Yes, I think we buy this.
Well, I'm just asking because what I go through at work, okay? When you try to economize, sometimes it backfires on you.
Oh, yeah.
My idea is if you're using, you have to have paper. Then that's very expensive now, and the toner, okay? There are some things where you just can't compromise.
Right, we don't, I
Okay.
don't think we,
I mean, if we need to.
I mean, we're frugal, but I don't use,
If we need to bump this up,
I just bumped it up, just the 500. I think that'll be sufficient for supplies, just to help cover the cost of paper, because
okay,
hopefully I'm coming to you guys with lots of stuff and packets and things, and so we'll need to use more paper, that's cool, so. And, administration, that's something you guys can discuss. The promotional, I bumped it up to 10,000. Obviously, that's by statute, it's 10% of your sales tax. So that one, the max that one can be is 10,000.
okay. So in that category, promotional. And I don't know where this is gonna fall into, but we had talked about upgrading and purchasing new decorations for holidays for the town, especially at the entranceway. You know, the Christmas decorations that look like shooting targets. This is something I think that we should pay some attention to because I know it's an investment. And I know it's gonna be a little costly. But I'd like you to entertain that and see what you can bring to us.
It's the first thing you see when you drive into town, the
Yeah.
time of year.
Yeah, and those, that entryway just looks, Crystal and I have a catalog that we have ruled over, so I can, at the September meeting, I can bring to you guys some options, ideas, and,
Yeah,
and,
we've got these poles up here now where you can actually get something with, you know, really, really nice. I mean,
Go less cartoony.
Yeah.
Face.
more, yeah, more like we're big kid city and we can, you know. I hear you guys and think we can use that on promotional. I mean, we can use it even out of the other services uncommitted. I mean, either way,
Okay.
you can, so if we wanted to, I mean, we don't have to designate what we're gonna use it the promotional for, because it's, you know, I know it's Kathy's favorite thing, but the fireworks probably will go up, so, you know.
by the way, they were, again, they probably were exceptional. I mean, each year
They were
they get
So
progressively
the
better.
CDC usually does half of the fireworks display. They,
Have you watched them?
yeah, so
Have
they,
you approved?
Yeah, there's a
That's
bunch of
my voice.
so that's where, so we can use for the fireworks, the CDC is allowed to use that promotional line item, and so that's typically what they designate that for, and, I think it started out as 5,000 and then it went up and it's, it was, yeah, it was 16 in total. 16 in total, so last year, so they.
So you got some good sponsorships.
Yeah, no, yeah.
actually worth it.
Am I the only one in here?
I agree.
So there's people from all over that are coming out here. for
Yeah.
fireworks.
Exactly.
And they love that they don't have to go to the island and mess with the traffic and all that, they're coming.
We love you for it, Kathy.
It's just that, you know,
This burns right up.
And it keeps me off next door because I don't get snitched out for lighting off fireworks in my backyard.
You're the one.
I was the one a couple of years ago. I was on Veterans Day. I didn't know.
it wasn't me.
First moved in.
Somebody in my neighborhood.
Yeah, it was always okay in our, like, in your driveway, you could do that back home, you could just do it in your driveway, and
Yeah.
that's fine, yeah, I'm with,
No.
but no, none.
I didn't know, but I found out pretty quick.
Yeah, it wasn't me that turned it, even though we got your backyard.
Did you?
It wasn't just one person, trust me.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, your mom was on on that thing and she's like, hey, are you looking at this? And I was like, I don't look at that.
No, I'm setting off fireworks.
There's 40 people on here yelling about fireworks. And I was like, yeah, that was me. Yep,
I'm the problem.
My bad.
that's me.
So, insurance, we just couple y'all's in with the payment that we make, and I don't see that going up. We don't have any indication that the $1,000 isn't enough. I'll say it again, and, like, I think the training and education and travel budget is underused. We sent around last week, the
The
EDC.
sales tax.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to go. If anybody else can try to go, we'll sign you guys up. I feel like, you know, there's classes if we can go to them. It is September.
Friday.
I'm just waiting on
It is a Friday.
one other confirmation and then I'll be able to schedule it.
Okay, so, and we have time, it's in September, so, I mean, I don't know that we need $2,000 in travel, because I doubt any of you guys are gonna wanna like go stay somewhere, but it doesn't hurt to have, leave it in there and we,
Yes, if we're moderated, then it's close to last.
So the way-
week.
I've already been to one, so they're $200
per person, but we haven't used any right now, so we have $1,000 right now, so, I mean, 5 of you could go.
Yeah, since I've already been to one, I hate it.
You don't have to, I'm just saying, well, there's enough.
But maybe in March to do it in the other new, the new gentleman with us.
Mr. Chamberlain? Yeah, I think he wrote back and said he wouldn't be able to attend, that one, but, I think he wrote back, but.
They're really good. I mean, they're good, so.
So, but, yeah, if you guys have any classes or anything that you see that you think might be beneficial, just let me know and I'll shoot it to the board.
I'm
So,
on the email with them now because I went, that's my.
okay.
It's close. How long?
I think it's just one day, I think, right?
It's all day.
Yeah, and, yeah, it's
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh.
Yeah.
And then, your legal services, you know, I just suggest we leave it. We were only at 4,000 this year, but, you know, it only takes one incident and we'll be right at the 10,000. So I just say we leave it as is.
Yes.
And Mr. Osuna hasn't given us any indication either or that his rate is going up or anything like that. So,
And financial services, that bank charges, they charge you for everything.
what else do we use that on there? Oh, yeah, we haven't used it. It's just sitting there.
What is our bank?
No, it's not bad. We haven't used anything out of it.
used it.
It's still
Financial
sitting.
services, who do we bank with?
We think with First National as SPI. So we don't, it just, I don't know what that's speak for. If we ever, oh, you know what? I think when we do, every other year when we have to do our, the audit, yeah, the Gomez, they do the audit.
So this is our portion.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
so they do that. So like, that's what that is.
Okay.
And then advertisement speaks for itself, you know, it's, we've used it on I'm trying to remember what we used that. Oh, like, yeah, so what advertisements would we have, when we bring something to you guys and we have to place the public hearing in the newspaper, that's what we use that for, so. That's what that one's for, and then
How are we doing with the security cameras?
fabulous,
Are
they
they
are.
adequate? Everything's working well?
Everything's working really well. The, one of the projects I'm going to have bid out and, I'd like to get additional cameras. We need, I think it's one additional camera here at City Hall somewhere. I can't remember where there's a blind spot. And then, I'd like to get power out to the walking trail. So I could put at least cameras on the 2 entries of the walking trail. I'd like to, in a perfect world, you know how the island has the dolphin watch camera, you know, I'd like to have like the bird watch camera, and we have a camera on one of the A-frames
That we.
that we'd live
access.
stream, that, yeah, that would just sit there, you know? Just to kind of, but we have to get power out there. There's no, you know, so we've got to build a bathroom is kind of where I'm thinking with it, is get, a
All
bathroom.
inclusive.
Yeah, one universal, universal design, you know, adult, handicap accessible, you know, but just a one staller, right? But this way we get the electricity and we get the, power, and then we would be able to have the security cameras at the entrance and then the live stream on one of the A-frames. We did get a light installed over at the end of Paul Uncle, right? A security light on that parking lot right there, so now it's not pitch black when you go in on that side. So
Has anything been happening with the walking trail?
they have cleared out a lot of brush and debris. We actually had to ask them to stop because so, you know, the city was having brush piled everywhere, and then we're going out getting certain citations for people's brush and bulk being out, you know, and then the city has no room to put all our brush and bulk, so I was like, you guys have to do it in this 1 week that we can, the week before we can put it out, you know, because we had too much, so they have stopped. The last 2 or 3 weeks, they haven't pulled any brush, and it's too hot to plant anything.
Where are they
So-
pulling brush from?
I honestly haven't been over there to see where they're pulling it, but
We're
it's,
talking about what we're going
Yeah.
there and cleaning. So like when you first walk in the gate, when you're at Palo Blanco, over to the side, it was all kind of invasive species of plants. And so we cut all that out. And like it was truckloads of
it
stuff.
was a ton of stuff.
And so we're working on taking out stuff that's not native, that's invasive, so that the native plants can grow.
They're called a Brazilian pepper.
Yes, yes.
And a lot of them.
They're only on one side of the walking trail,
Yes.
and
Or they grow like crazy.
they take over, so that you would only, I don't know how many years it takes to it, but
Yeah.
it's obviously out there. so.
Question, if we, again, either this goes to the fact that we're beautifying or keeping the community safe, you know. When they do these types of cleanups, are we able, CDC able to fund that?
Well, so the Master Naturalist program, they're volunteering, they're doing it, they're coming out, so the Parks Board partnered with the Rio Grande Master Naturalists, and every Wednesday, they go out and with a group of volunteers, and they do what they can, and what do you guys work 2 to 3 hours in the morning?
Yeah.
If it's weather permitting, so it's something that at this point hasn't necessarily cost us anything, it's just a volunteer program or volunteer basis.
So we could provide water, ice, whatever, stuff like that?
Sure, absolutely, if you guys want it.
I was thinking more about vandalism, stuff like that. Is there anything bad going on?
Well, we do have, often those A-frames get spray painted and tagged a lot. We are, what was it, about 6 months ago that they all got, so every now and again, you'll see us start locking up the walking trail again, and that's what'll happen, like some kids will decide that they realize that it's unmonitored and they can go in there and destroy, and, you know, so I think since I've been here, there's been about 3 different times that we've had to lock the walking trail at night because it gets vandalized, and we clean it all up, and, you know, it's almost impossible to catch, because unless somebody sees them go in, and, you know, there's no way to know who was in and out of there, and honestly, it's not safe, you know, there's like.
Is it like closed at night?
Well, no, we leave it open. The sign says it's open. I think it's basically like a dusk till dawn kind of concept. And our police officers would always open it in the morning. But what happens is, if our police officer's on a call, and Miss Betty Sue, who likes to go walking at, 4:02 every morning, and if you're not there with the gate open at 4:02, Miss Betty Sue gets really mad that the gate's not open. And so that's why it tends to get left open all night, so that way whoever goes at whatever time, because, we walk early around here because it gets hot, so, so it wasn't working, and to have an officer, because if they were late, then it made our regulars quite agitated.
We
at us.
definitely need a camera, because that's liability.
I
Something that
100%
somebody
agree.
gets hurt in there in the middle of the night.
That's why it's on the top of my list so I needed to get everything else covered, and because that one was just gonna be more complicated, because I have to get a bathroom put out, or I have to get something that has power out there, and I'm trying to acquire that lot out there, so we could have that whole lot.
The
but-
lot, that's on the pond,
Mhm.
so who did that, no, the city doesn't own that.
We just own that easement.
Did you find out who owned it?
Yeah. It's a person who owns it, so
But it's not the neighbor to that, that's what I kept thinking.
yeah, no,
Cause they keep up with it, they mow it.
yeah, well, our guys mow it.
Ah.
Yeah, we mow it, and we maintain it, so, yeah, I don't know why we didn't just buy that, I don't know how we didn't
I
just
thought
buy
we
that.
did.
No, Mr. Losi and I have rigged through trying to, but we don't, all we have is the easement, it's deeded to,
Because I was at a city meeting And I heard them say that they bought that lot. That was a long time ago, like in 2000 or 2009.
Well, it's not deeded to us, so I don't know what happened, but it's not.
I guess they
deeded
were
to us.
talking about the easement, but it certainly wasn't phrased that way.
Have you read all of it?
Yeah,
Okay.
So the bathroom you're talking about, would it be inside the gated area or would it be in the parking lot?
that's what, I don't know, like, it would have to, I would need to go out there and see where the utilities are, where would be the easiest, cheapest, most effective way to put it in there and be the most accessible, because obviously we want it, I don't know that I want to put it on a lot that's, obviously, we're not gonna put it on a lot that's not ours, so it may need to go over there on the Palo Blanco side, right, you know, and, but it would be, I mean, something obviously way nicer than what Roland Park restroom is, but a simple one stall, you know, situation, but, that's just,
Put a cipher lock on the gate,
what is that mean?
code, like a number code. And we could put a sign out there that just says, looking for your avid walkers, you know, in a month, we're gonna put this cipher lock. If you want the code, sign up with the town or with the city and give us your email. That way, if we ever have to update it, it just look like it.
Yeah, I can look into the price of that, it's not a bad idea, I know when we were, the security, but I think we run into the same problem, but I still need electricity out there,
I think they're battery.
are they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's kind of like the properties on the island, they change the codes usually before the summer, and definitely twice during the summer. Because it seems like everybody gives that code to enter on, but it's easily done.
Yeah, they're not bad. They're
And
probably $100.
absolute,
Okay.
absolute services out of my calendar, stuff like that.
They actually have them now where you can give somebody a code to an app that they could put on their phone.
Right.
So like in the hotel with the electronic keys, so you could give them access through an app and they could just walk up with their phone and get it and it would open up.
the only thing is that we do as a governmental agency, and I think you guys will remember this when I got the security cameras, there's only so many, like, there's very limited products that the municipality can buy and use due to the government, like, nothing from, I forget the countries that we can't use their security from, so like, we can't, like, the fire station wanted to go install a ring, right? And oh, it's simple, it's easy, well, we can't do that because it has to be the certified, so that would be the only thing, is if those kind of fall into that credit, but I'll talk to our IT guy and see if there's an option, I hadn't thought about that, so I will.
Is that like mirror the GSA schedule with the
That's the
feds?
one, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the exact one, actually. So, and the only reason I know about that is because we did the security cameras and he was saying, you know, be careful when you're getting the bids, because these people will, and as a municipality, you can't, you know, participate in some of those, and he's like, a good vendor will know that and not bid you those cameras, but he's like, they don't always all know what they should know, so,
A company out of Houston called Safety Vision,
okay.
that's on the GSA schedule.
Oh, perfect, so I will, so that's my goal, so that's the update on the security cameras, is everything is working great and fine. I just need to continue the process, so right now, we have security cameras at this building, the fire station, and now the library, and, they updated them too, and the cameras are great, and, good pictures, can record. The police officers can access them with their phones, so if they're monitoring traffic on 100, they can still be monitoring, you know, the parking lots and the libraries and everything else. They just have it on their tablet. They have a rolling feed that they can, or they leave it on the basketball court a lot, like they're doing traffic, and they watch the basketball court a lot. So obviously that's where there's a lot of, you know, kids and stuff. So, it's made it really helpful. So that's very thankful for that.
Where are we going with the parks master plan?
It is finalized as of May 1st, April 1st. One of those two. It was finalized and accepted by Texas Park and Wildlife. Yeah, and then, with that, we were able to submit the Texas Park and Wildlife grant for the Roloff Park improvement. So your guys, I just signed Miss Patty's check today for the second half of that, for the $10,000. So it was money well spent. So if all goes well, we will end up with a, $300,000 grant from Texas Park and Wildlife with an additional, Legacy Foundation grant, which is up to, no, it's a $500,000 grant, so $800,000 roll-off park improvement. But it's all because we approved that Parks Master Plan, because you can't apply for the Texas Park and Wildlife grants if you don't have an approved Parks Master Plan. So, yeah, and it'll open the doors for a lot of, we ended up doing the small cities, community grant. Originally, we were gonna go for the big guy, which is a $750,000 grant, but it's a matching grant. So given our need for EMS services and a couple of things that way, the town council is opting to put more resources towards our EMS needs than the park needs. And so this was a way to kind of split the difference, and an $800,000 upgrade will get us the universal design equipment. It'll get us new fitness equipment. It'll get some more native plants planted around here, signage. It's gonna have the proposed is to have it's cool little signs, and they have like little tracks in the ground that'll be like different types of animal tracks. And then there's just one board that has like communicate me or something like that. And it has like the words kids would use typically on a playground in Spanish, English, and sign language, and then I think Braille. So like, you know, in theory, it's helping everyone connect, right? So they would know how they swing, or, you know, it's a really cool sign. And they're gonna make some of the, have you seen the selfie,
Yes.
selfies, but
boxes.
like, yes, it'll be like two big butterflies, yeah, so you can stand in front, look like you're a butterfly, and I'll have Laguna Vista on there, so it'll have signage. And then if we get the legacy grant, so that'll be what we do with the small cities grant from Texas Park and Wildlife, that'll be the 300,000. If we get then phase 2, if we get the legacy grant, that will include the splash pad. That will get us the splash pad. Splash pad's gonna be about $350,000, because we have to do because it's being incorporated with the Texas Park and Wildlife grant, we have to do the recirculation system, and of course it has to be, you know, checked off on all the, because the Legacy Foundation follows the same guidelines as the Texas Park and Wildlife. So usually that's how you get the legacy, is if you get the Texas Park grant, you usually get the legacy one. So they go hand in hand with their requirements. So at the end of the day, though, we will have, for $20,000, we will hopefully be getting an $800,000 upgrade
That's
to Roloff
wonderful.
Park. So
That's wonderful.
so yes, you guys clap yourselves on the back, because that was.
Oh, no, you, of course, because you basically have managed to get
I-
all of this put together, and yeah, I'm sure it wasn't easy.
I had to walk the park like 3 times in the sun. I wouldn't do it again. I wouldn't. I was very upset that day. I was having a very traumatic moment. But no, it's super, Patty's awesome, and we're gonna try to get some sable palms from the county. I'm gonna try to work with the county to get some sable palms, which are super expensive. But if the county can, they have a sable palm nursery or rescue, and so if we can get them to donate some.
Outside of Brownsville, yeah.
Right, and then we get to use that against our match. So like we have $20,000 earmarked for native habitat, right? So if I get $5,000 worth of sable palms donated, then we get to move that $5,000 to somewhere else. Oh, and we're gonna have a musical. There's gonna be a musical thing for kids at one of the Universal playgrounds. We'll have all the music and the. Yes. But, cause you know what I mean. So it's gonna have a lot of cool things, and of course it needs, and the floor will be, the fall surface will be obviously better, in that way wheelchair accessible. The
Okay.
tables, the picnic tables will have the wheelchair accessible. All the fitness equipment that we get will be universal design.
And not rust.
No, we're gonna, so actually the company we're using does the galvanized, they have a galvanized line for just this purpose. And so it's supposed to not rust, because by the Texas Park and Wildlife guidelines, everything has to, we have to maintain it for 20 years. It has to stay. So this will have to, you know, be what this is for 20 years. And so if, I mean, obviously if the slide breaks, we can get a new slide, but it has to be a slide. So I'm like, I don't want to have to replace the slide, you know, 20 times in 10 years. And so, but the company for the universal design has the galvanized material, so it should last much better. And so that's what your $20,000 got you. So I am very much appreciated. You guys did, it's a very, very awesome investment.
Well, I'm looking forward to, hopefully, some smaller investment projects for, either startup businesses or things that we can do to help our residents, especially like in the volunteer stage where, you know, we provide sustenance or support for them without them thinking that, you know, they're just all there by themselves. So anything that we can facilitate, Ms. Randy, I'd like to.
Okay, I will have some, either if not full applications for you guys to consider in September, but at least or some just general information.
Well, looks like we're off to a good start.
But so let's just fill in the blanks here real quick. So if you guys want to leave the administration at 7,000,
Actually, I think that could probably go to 10. That's my thought.
so the administration fee is just used, it goes to pay so the CDC doesn't have employees, they use the town council, or the city employees to do all the CDC. So that, we basically, the CDC, we pay the town council for the use of us. But we don't actually see the money, it doesn't go to us.
You're our support. team.
We are
How much
board
did we
team.
use last year?
Huh?
How much?
We just write it, we take the whole thing, we write a $7,000 check, like, we don't break it down, it's a flat fee, we
Do
don't
you
let
think that you,
easily. If you put all of our hourly rates together and the time, you would pay that, probably more. I think we figured that last year, I think, actually, I think it was when Mr. Dopoulos was still on, he had me do the math and, the hourly rates, and, you're coming off far better doing a lump sum than like actual time. Because Mr. Dopoulos wanted it to go to us specifically, I think that was what the motion on the table was, and so we were trying to figure out, we don't need it to come to us specifically, it just goes to the town, because we're paid by the town. So that's the only reason I know that, but I'm happy to do that numbers again if you'd like to see.
I'd like to.
Being the new guy, but does the CDC, does the board have any impact on your raises, or? So if you do a good job or anything, we can't make a recommendation and say we're gonna include more money in our budget specifically for that?
No, you can just write an email to the mayor and tell us how much help, or the council members, and tell them how much you love it. Yeah, no. No, yeah, it doesn't go directly to us. It's basically the CDC is paying the town of Laguna Vista, and town of Laguna Vista, does the raises and.
so how long would it take you to get those numbers? So would it be a huge undertaking to get the numbers right for us to say? I don't want you to spend, 3 weeks trying to get this.
No, I mean, I can probably have it to you in like by the end of the week.
How long ago did you do it?
Well, it was still when Mr. Dopoulos was on, so what, at least 2 years ago?
Great.
Well, it's right before you came on, right?
Think it's changed that much?
Well, no, because I mean, the people have changed, but the people have changed, but probably the money hasn't. I mean, 'cause I make what Mr. Messa was making, and you know what I mean, so it's probably roughly the same. It's an ebb and flow, right? If you have a lot of projects like the Parks Master Plan, so where it gets tricky doing that is like, okay, so when I'm walking with Miss Patty doing the Parks Master Plan, is that CDC time or is that town council time? Do you know what I mean? That's where it got tricky to figure it and that's why I was telling Mr. Ozuna when we did that with Mr. Dopoulos, because it's kind of, it's also intertwined, right? So,
Well, the
how
way
would
I see it, the way I see it is that we have to complement one another. The fact that y'all are on here helping us and discussing what we're all working on together. And that ultimately it goes towards the city. The city cannot drag the funds completely on their own. So we're inducing just a little bit into the equation. And 7,000 has sat there for the same amount year after year. My idea is to at least advance it to 10,000. And you're gonna find when you start doing hourly wages, it's just gonna get out of control. Because theoretically, you're supplying us with our resources that we couldn't do otherwise. If we had to go out and get 4 ladies to come in here and do our paperwork and all the backup that we require for budgets and anything else that we undertake, I think that's a bargain.
If I wanna see if it's like, it's
Even more?
you know what I mean? I mean, I don't know that, so I'd like to make sure, if we're gonna make a change, let's make a change in the right direction.
Property.
So if you guys, and I don't wanna make you do a lot more work, but if it would be pretty easy, it would be.
I will figure it out. I will have it, yeah, and then, the only hiccup is that we need to get this approved by council, and we're gonna have more meetings in August, but that means you guys would have to come back and meet again and approve on my number. So we would have to call another meeting in August for the 21st, so you guys would look at this again. So we have to have a forum and meet again. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I have it on the agenda for tomorrow, but if you guys want to approve it, which is fine, it's totally within, and the council's meeting again in August because we're doing the budget meeting, so they're meeting on August 21st, so they can look at it again. I mean, I can put it again on that budget, but just so you guys are aware, it'll
Make it.
another meeting. But if you just, I don't even, do you know how much you make an hour? Give me 2 seconds. Give me something.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you
We're
figure?
gonna do it right, we need to do it. Okay, what is it? What is it? You know, just take out, whatever you need. Right? We would like to make sure that that we're, instead of just
Oh,
giving,
yeah, we
we
can
just
do
put a
that.
number out there. And then we do a little bit of investigation, or just think about it, if we go to 8,000 instead of 10,000, that might be enough for this year. And then ask for next year to get it, to get that ready for. What do you think?
I don't know what enough is, like, what, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's 4 people and they spend 10% of their time or 20% of their time, how much is that, salary wise?
Yeah.
7,000 sounds awfully low for 4 people.
For their
Just in my head, just doing quick swagging.
And that's just on the.
If you're at, what's the average income, what's median income, so if you're at 30,000 a year, that's 120,000.
Right, so we're.
If you're at 7,000 of that, you're at 5% of their time being spent on CDC. So I don't know what their time, how much time they spend on CDC. If they spend 10%, then it would be 14,000 or 13,000. But I'm assuming that they're not at 30,000. That's just the easy round number. So if you're at,
You probably have one that is in.
it's pretty easy to calculate. I mean, at least get close to the number and see.
I think that's something fun to do, right?
Yeah.
I think it was because of the seven, that's it. I think it used to be.
Yeah, that's a good point though. Right, so we don't-
Have all that dollars,
The what?
I said dollar, I thought.
Yeah, sure.
dollar,
If you don't have the actual,
What?
might as well cushion it because what's left over just.
Someone told me that you're not.
It would be nice if
Excel stuff.
something that goes directly to the team. If
Oh.
you're successful in. the
Okay.
parts.
So we're just gonna make sure.
So I gotta imagine she spends a lot of time.
Okay, so más o menos, if you put us all together, it's about $80 an hour for like your CDC team, right? So, and if you figure 10 hours a month between the financials, prepping for the meeting itself, doing that's 9,600. And so that's 10 hours a month. Okay.
And that doesn't include the grant work, the firework, or anything else that you do.
The car.
Yeah, I don't charge you for walking around the park. You just have to listen to me complain.
So we're close at 10.
Yeah, that's, I mean, and that's obviously most of it, some projects might cost be more a month, some might be less a month, but that's if you just do $10 and 10 hours a month. Flat rate for an $80 an hour fee. So what we combined all of our wages for a year, divided it out, and that's our hourly rate, which is $80 an hour.
that comes up. So,
And then actually the council, you guys get out well, it's like the council's paying like those two time and a half for their time at the meeting here. Like, so you know what I mean, because they're overtime here, but you guys would only be paying their regular rate. So, you know, if you were gonna go dollar for dollar, it would probably be a little bit more. Crystal and I are salary, so we get paid the same. But, you know,
I would still support putting in $10,000 on administrative expenditure for the next budget year. Any comments?
Proof is in the pudding, so they're at 9,600.
Anyone?
I think it's. not gonna be that. You don't have a meeting. But I'm okay with doing 10,000. I
Yeah.
don't think there's any way to actually figure this out.
there's not, unless we actually kept time cards for a year, then there wouldn't.
And then the next year would be different.
And I think
And then,
it's just,
so
you're just gonna charge us more for doing this.
our rates are going up right now. My first hour is this much and my second hour is. No, I mean, and we're, like I said, I put on the town council budget at 7,000, so I mean, it's, we're not trying to make money, I mean, it's all the city's.
Oh, I
money, so, you know, we're not
understand.
trying
I'm
to.
just saying that, we've sat at 7,000 for many years. Already
Okay, so you want me to put 10 there?
Please.
All right,
Well,
what,
go ahead and make a motion, or do we just?
we'll approve the budget as a whole, so, we don't need the individual. Unless you want me to put you down as something, like, I mean, if you want to.
Okay, let's go.
Hey, buddy.
Great.
So the insurance is gonna stay the same at 1,000. We're okay with leaving travel.
Yep.
We're okay with the advertising.
This training is fine,
Mhm.
legal's fine, financial's fine. Everything else is,
And then the balance will be whatever, so when we do this math, right, that'll, the other uncommitted will just be the difference of the 408 minus whatever all this equals. And then that's what you guys will have for projects for the next year.
okay.
You know what I mean?
Did they give you like, when they were dollar general?
It's open, by the way.
There it is. The average of how much they make.
We tried to get the information and, well, trying to get a hold of anyone at Dollar General has been a bust, even just to see when they're gonna open. I didn't even know they opened, despite my numerous phone calls and pleas to like, hey, we'd like to do a ribbon cutting, we'd like to announce it to our people, something. The chamber, was trying to get them to, but, so trying to get anything about numbers and all of that was just out of their and
Impossible.
impossible, and when we were gonna call the cities, but like I said, we run into the problem of, we don't, as a city, when you get your check for your sales tax, it's not broken down by like vendor, it's just, you just get a check. We know what we get from Stripes, because that's our only store, I mean, we can assume a little bit from Boomers, but I mean, like, obviously, the majority of it is Stripes.
So the next check that we get after a full month.
Then we can kind of
evaluate
muscle
more or
in.
less between what we were getting and what we're getting now.
Yeah, and then of course, the whole year we'll see obviously what we average out to be, but I don't think they'll make us more than Stripes, so I don't think it's gonna, I think Stripes, just because of the fuel and everything.
I did notice something, our legal services. Here.
Yes, he had he was at the appraisal district meeting that the town council has appointed him to. So, and they meet quarterly, and unfortunately it fell on tonight, so.
So how's his total?
His total's good. We've only spent 4,000 of the 10,000 for this year, but as always, I would just recommend leaving it at that because it only takes one incident that
We'll
we
leave
need.
that up.
Or if we have more projects, like I'm hoping this year, I mean, we had more this year than we did last year, and I'm hoping we even have more. And so every project that, I put through you guys, he looks at, and
Correct.
we put it through the ringer there to make sure it's funds that we can spend. The CDC funds are appropriate for that project and so on. So hopefully as y'all's projects go up, obviously his rates will increase.
And I know I've asked you before, and I think, don't we have IT services?
Well, the city has IT services, so you
Okay,
guys
so
just
that's-
benefit from, yeah, you guys don't have a separate IT, you guys did. Cause we just do everything with the city stuff, and we don't, you guys don't have email addresses or anything like that, so you don't have any, yeah. We'll put that in.
Y'all have any other questions about the budget? One, Mark? No? Kathy? Jamie? No.
Councilwoman Bryant, you have anything?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, so we're good with what we've applied to the budget at this time.
Okay.
Until you make the adjustments and bring it back.
So what I would recommend is you guys approve it with the amendments as is, so I can present to council tomorrow in the morning. We will send you out a fresh copy on the email with the numbers. And so if you guys just look it over real quick and make sure I didn't do anything different than what we agreed, because I'll present it to the council tomorrow night.
Okay, so we want to take a vote on it.
I would love that. And let's do a name vote so we can have it on
At
the
this
record.
time, we're going to take a vote on submitting the CDC budget for the 2023-24 year. And these changes or corrections, as you will,
So are you making the motion?
will be implemented. So I'm gonna make the motion and start, see if anyone wants to.
No, it's gonna be one of you guys.
What is the motion for to approve the budget?
Yeah.
I second.
It's a motion by Ms. Galloway.
Second by Ms. Petty. All those in favor?
Let's do it. I'm gonna,
Mark?
hold on.
Okay.
You wanna do a roll call vote, please? Happy?
Yes.
Galloway,
Yes.
Mr. Foster, that,
Yeah, Mark's fine. Yes.
and Ms. Petty.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right, so the motion passed. Okay.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment of the CDC meeting of August 7, 2023.
Let me get a moment.
Motion to adjourn, second.
Second.
Amy Petty, second. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
6:52. All right, girls.
Good job.
Hope this is a good evening tomorrow. Make it good evening tomorrow.
Okay, we're gonna make it this easy.
Yeah.